Morning and happy Saturday, and welcome to the Power Paradigm Shift episode 185. 185 weeks in a row, no weeks off, not even the wedding. And we have not one but two awesome guests on today. Super pumped, waiting for Big Dave to hop on. I could already feel his energy. And let's get this party started. Y'all know the drill. Let us know how you're feeling in the chats. Any questions? Let's participate. Let's have some fun. Let's connect to the energy. Boom. 5, less than 5. Garry. Mike Allen in the house. Big news. There he is. Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
How are you, handsome?
I'm phenomenal. How are you?
Doing great. How about that shot I sent you this morning? Looking good. Real good.
Great, man. You dress up really nicely, and look at the human garage in the house. Gary's feeling great.
That's right. I'm super pumped. How are you feeling?
Oh, amazing, man. I got the big November ahead of me. All great news coming. Got a lot of announcements. I'm going to get to see you on Monday. I'll be keynoting Ad Week, and probably one of our coolest. We're honoring October 7th, but to be nominated for a second year for a Nobel Peace Prize with Junior Achievement as Chief Chancellor of Junior Achievement, and then even greater, getting to see everybody. We have an amazing day planned. So meetups, holding court, keynotes, and of course the big dinner. Gail King said she's stopping by. Victor Cruz is coming. Ja Rule. I haven't seen my boys in a while. So it's a big day, and flying out at 11 p.m. To get to a SoFi mastermind the next day, and then doing another Junior Achievement dinner on Wednesday, and then to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Got 3 keynote speeches over in the desert, and then it's just an active month, my friend.
Most people just heard what you just said and they want to take a nap. They're so tired. And that's all just in a couple days.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for all of it. I can't wait to
Nick's in New York with Serafina right now, and Marissa, they're all hanging out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, right around the block from you.
I'll keep some tabs on him. Is he making his way to Sauges?
I hope so, man. If not, you better order some and have it waiting for me.
Did you really bring a sandwich to my wedding?
Yeah, I took it home with me too, and it was awesome.
Did you eat it on the plane?
Yeah, it was awesome. Half of it. It was a big sandwich. So you had pastrami, I think, if I recall correctly.
Yes. All right, good. Before we bring on our first guest, I wanted to ask you a quick nugget. When you have big goals, which you have some of the biggest goals of anyone I know, how do you awaken a desire for those specific goals, or even expand your desire for the specific goals that you do have?
Yeah, my specific goals are divine in their direction, and I take them into the context of the circumstances of the day, because time, emotion, and value changes immediately after you set forth a specific objective or a goal. But yet, to have a defined purpose and intentionality is necessary in order to make sure that we continue to progress. And what I mean by that is if you don't have a divine purpose, if you don't have intentionality, if you don't have that objective or goal and put it into a divine direction, then you won't be able to see the detours as divine as well. So you'll quit. I promise you 100% of the people that quit don't get to where they want to be or better. I will tell you that 100% of the people that don't quit get to where they want to be or better. And the only reason people quit is that their purpose is not greater than the pain. And so they see detours as punishment, not protection, promotion, and love. They don't see or have a divine direction, which incorporates purpose. They don't have divine detours, which then creates this problem of human experience where they're working within the context of man-made expectation of time, which only creates disappointment and frustration and resistance, instead of allowing for divine time with divine purposes and elevating their awareness to the divine detours to actually get them to where they want to be, not stop them from getting where they want to be.
It's like a symphony from my soul when you speak about divine. Love it. And speaking of divine guests, and speaking of handsome, good morning, Gary.
Handsome. Okay, come on now. Look who I'm talking to here. You just got married. You're the handsome guy.
Yeah, he is. Have you seen those pictures with his shirt off and he's calling us handsome?
Yeah,
You know he's just
yeah, yeah.
projecting. Yeah, we get it.
Well, you know, how old are you, Craig?
I'm 39 years young.
39 years young. Well, you know, I come from a background of bodybuilding. So back in my days, if we go back, I mean, when I was 18, 19 years old, I was a pretty big and buff guy. And I stayed that way most of my life, but didn't quite look as good as you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I received that. But you're significantly more flexible and nimble than me and Dave combined right now. That's fair, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a fair statement, but just
Can
to
you
give
do
you
the splits?
context,
Can you do the splits? That's what I want to know.
yeah, I can put my leg over my head, but this is me at 18 years old.
Wow.
Oh,
Look at
yes.
you. I love it.
And
If I had a body like that, I'd wear that bathing suit as well.
and that was 19 years old, right out of high school.
Nice. I
But
love it.
what I can do is I can easily put my foot above my head today. So
I love, there's so many places we could take this. Speaking of this stuff, one of the stuff that you often talk about and you love to reiterate is squatting. And I know you probably talk about it so much, but for our community audience that might not have even been familiar with 1% of the benefits, why is that something people should begin to incorporate? And what do you personally love about it?
well, I mean, if you take a look at human health, I mean, a little bit of my background, and then I can move into squatting, is that if you look at it today, arguably people are sicker than they've ever been in the history of humankind. We have every disease. 1 in 4 women have breast cancer. 1 in 20 kids are on the autistic spectrum right now. We've got myocarditis, heart disease, every functional disease, autoimmune. 100% of the women that we've had through our clinics from 25 to 35 years old that have autoimmune disease, which has never happened in human history. So there's something going on wrong right now. We're not even living longer. We're dying sooner and we're less mobile. So there has been a big shift in people's health over the last 40 years. And some of the basic things that we do every day that we don't do, like if you may have heard that sitting is the new smoking. Well, that's exactly what it is, because when you sit in a chair, you breathe with your chest and your shoulders, and then you no longer breathe in your abdomen. And if you don't breathe in your abdomen, all of the organs below the diaphragm don't get action because there are no muscles there. They need that breathing movement, and our diaphragm shut off. So, from a clinical perspective, in the clinic, I had over 10,000 active patients, and everybody from Ben Affleck to Tyson Gate, Olympic teams and I can tell you, out of the 100,000 plus people that I personally touched, I've only seen 4 people who have diaphragms that are actually working today, which is a primary function for us is breathing. And when we squat, it forces our diaphragm to work and to breathe. Can you guys get into a squat?
Can we squat? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
I can do the splits. I'm with you, my friend. I just can't put my leg above my head yet, but I'm working on it.
This is great.
You know what's so interesting in the basics? There's so much complexity with the technology and nutrition and supplements, and coming from the sports performance side of things, running the most notable sports agency in the world, working with the greatest athletes in the world. It's funny because most people don't realize that if you focus in on what human beings need to stay alive, that you'll actually live longer. What do I mean by that? Number one, you need air to stay alive, so focus in on breathing. 2, you need food to stay alive, so focus in on your nutrition. 3, you need to have water to stay alive, so focus in on your hydration. And then 4, you need to sleep to stay alive. And a lot of people ignore sleep as well. So it's really interesting that everybody that fits within the context of longevity, health, immune, where we are deficient today as a society, Sometimes we don't see the trees through the forest, and we're not focused in on what human beings actually need. How important is it to focus in on the 4 key necessities to stay alive before we get too far beyond, people getting onto all types of different funky diets and other things that may not actually help, but may create interference or dis-ease?
I mean, that's a great question. So put some perspective around this. Of the top elite athletes in the world, about a quarter of the ones that you would know, big names, have been through my clinics or my hands over the years. And what I can tell you right now, because we have a very big base of people that feed us information. Like we have 4 million people on platforms or on social medias. We have 30 million people around the world that are doing these fascial maneuvers daily to relieve stress and improve performance. And we're movement worldwide. But what we get in there is we get 1 million questions and comments, 1 million DMs a month with health questions. And what we have is some patterns back to your basics. One, if you go back 100 years ago or 75 years ago even, a human being was 80% water. If you go back 30 years ago, we were 70% water. Today, everybody we test, regardless of who they are, unless they're working on very specific parameters, they are somewhere between 60 and 65% water. And it has nothing to do with drinking water. As a matter of fact, the #1 cause of dehydration is overconsumption of water.
Huh.
Because what happens is today, because of the way that our systems are polluted, we have to filter our water, which takes the minerals out. And when water goes over a rock, it actually wears a groove in a rock over time because it's taking minerals out. And when we drink demineralized water, which is all the water that we're drinking today, out of every reverse osmosis, out of every bottle of water, it's all demineralized. It's actually taking the minerals out of us. So it creates a paradoxical effect where we become more dehydrated. So when we're working with the Dodgers right now, as an example, I have a podcast coming out with Lon Rosen, the EVP. And when they brought Andre Ethier to us years ago, couldn't get on the field, the primary issue that he had at the time was his fascia was dehydrated. And so people that are thinking they're healthy today, they're not sleeping well. One of the primary things that's having a health issue, again, over the last 75 years, we've gone from 80% water to 60% water. Simultaneously, every single health issue and disease in the history of mankind has increased. And again, it has nothing to do with drinking water. Outside, you're breathing chemicals like barium, strontium, aluminum that they use to modify weather, and that barium depletes your body's silica. And without the silica, we can't absorb the selenium, the calphos, and then we can't absorb the array of minerals that people are taking. So this is actually at a pandemic crisis level, but it's not being talked about. As a matter of fact, part of why I think the number up there is only 39, not 739, because we would normally get that in our live, is because we got censored on August 8th for talking about structured water.
Yeah, you gotta love what you're shadow banned for and with these days. Craig, are you utilizing any of these modalities to create such a healthy body of your own and lifestyle of your own?
Well, I'm blown away right now that the #1 source of hydration is overconsumption of water. My mind's blown right now.
Yeah, I mean, because you're taught to drink, like, to give you an example, I'm very, very hydrated, very liquid. I'm 80% water. And if you were to touch me, you would feel like I'm a 6-month-old baby. That's what my skin or my ears feel like. There's no cartilage, it feels like. And I drink about, reasonably, I drink about 4 glasses of water a day. That's all. So, and I came from a world where you would drink, half your body weight in ounces. And that's what was taught to us.
Yeah.
But here's the question: is that the people that look like they're very healthy in today's society generally are dehydrated. If you're ripped, generally there's a high level of dehydration, and it's because water, even if you have water in your system, or people who are very overweight, kind of puffy, holding water. The reason why that people are so overweight today is because they don't have the minerals to get that water into the tissue. So the water just sits there waiting to go into tissue.
What minerals is it? Magnesium? What minerals are essential to hydration?
Okay, so the base mineral that everybody needs to take is silica because it's being dehydrated by every breath that you take in any of the 80 countries today. And you have to take 600 milligrams of silica. And we found this out clinically. Like I said, we had the most elite athletes in the world in the clinic. And what we found was 88% of them were chronically dehydrated from 2014 to 2019. And what we did is we added a dose of 600 milligrams of silica to every single person. And we recommend diatomaceous earth. And just so that to make it really easy, on our website, we have a supplement guide which you can download for free. It explains the entire process and how to do it and how to get it for free in your area. As a matter of fact, you know, our worldwide movement with millions and millions of people, we fund that through selling supplements, but we spend a lot of time telling people, because most people can't get our supplements in other countries, we tell them how to get it without paying us anything. So I really encourage everybody to download our supplement guide and go through and look at the mineralization pathways.
I love it. This is groundbreaking stuff. Before we bring on our second guest, and Garry, if you have a couple minutes, I'd love for you to hang out. I wanted to ask you real quick, what is the deal with the tongue pull release?
So your body, traditionally we thought that muscles and bones were the structure of the body, but you know, today scientifically we have more sense than that. Medically we don't. Medical is very religious. Science is not religious about it. Your fascial connections from your tongue go all the way down into your big toes. So because we sit in chairs, we get a midsection of our body that's compressed. And when we pull the tongue, it actually decompresses from the stomach up. And then when we stand up, it goes from the stomach down. Yeah, it hurts, but I can tell you, when I'm working with like the top Olympic athletes, like every one of our Olympic athletes, every single one has a medal, and there's a reason, because we do things like this. Even just pulling your own tongue, it hurts. Even if you do it and you hold it there and you sit down into it, you'll actually improve performance. You'll feel like you're taller, straighter, and you'll feel like your big toes actually grip. And that's one of the primary drivers for forward movement, actually, is your toes.
Dave, you want to give that one a try?
Yeah.
You're gonna need a towel or something like that. You'll see. You actually, some of the top Olympic athletes actually do this every time they run. But again, these are secrets, trade secrets that we had to make the top athletes in the world the top athletes in the world. And today, what we do is we share them openly on our platforms. All you need to get rid of stress and anxiety in your body, remineralize your body, rebuild it, and perform is through a series of programs, starting with our 28-day reset. 100% of our content on how to help your body heal or perform is free of charge, all over, with over 1 million practitioners around the world implementing it today. So you can go right to our website, humangarage.net. You can start with a 15-minute stress reset, and you'll notice a difference the very first time that you do it. Super simple.
I love it. Yeah. And then also waiting for our second guest to get on, but I think he's having some technical difficulties. So in the meantime, I wanted to ask you something that I've struggled with. You talk about it a lot, just sciatica. I think a lot of people kind of have that. What is
Super
something?
easy. Sciatica, 100% of the time, there's chronic dehydration in the fascial tissue. The sciatic nerve goes through fascia, and if the fascia, it's supposed to floss through there very fluidly. If the fascia is contracted and dehydrated, when it goes through, it scrapes. And think about a nerve like nails on a chalkboard. That's what you're feeling, your sensation. So 100% of the time, sciatic nerve compression is dehydration of the fascia. Now, in addition to that, what you can do to try to get rid of it, you can go to our website and do the lower reset. It's called the lower reset. And if you do that 1 to 2 times per day, it takes about 25 minutes. About 70% of the time, your sciatica pain will go away within 7 to 10 days. And if it's not gone within 7 to 10 days, usually it's related to chronic dehydration. And you just follow our supplement guide. Super simple, super easy to do.
This is mind blowing. So, Dave, you love water. You speak to water.
Yes. Well, I believe, water and its molecules can be spoke to. I also think oxygen in water is underrated. A lot of people don't understand.
Good point.
And
Yeah,
so
so you want
say,
H3O2. When you drink H2O, H2O is a solvent, and it should never be drinking by a human being. H3O2 is water out of a stream that pools. It has spectrum of light. or out of a coconut or a watermelon. That's what I got censored for talking about, was basically, I'm not going to say the word
Don't say
because I don't want to bring that upon you guys, but when you organize water, it has a certain structure. And that's what we're currently being censored for talking about. And to put it in perspective, we do 16 to 20 million views a month just on Instagram, and our censorship pulled us down to 2 million views. So we're working through that. We have our ways. We'll be back in full force in about a week.
I was curious because I speak, as Craig just mentioned, I speak to water because I give it my intention. And so beyond the oxygen that I look at in the water, and people don't realize that's where, people even cheers comes from, is, being able to put your intention into water.
That's right.
So every sip of water that I take is a great way. Even if you're only 60% water, it's a great way to live with definite purpose, which is what we were talking about before you got here, to be all that you want to become, actually putting your intentions into yourself. So I'm glad to hear that you agree with me that you can put your intentions into water.
So since you are water, and the words that come out of your mouth have a resonant frequency, and they program the water molecules in your body. And I encourage everybody to go download our supplement guide, try it for free. Try adding silica from horsetail or diatomaceous earth. We'll tell you where to get it, and do that for 14 days without changing anything else in your life. Just do diatomaceous earth. Do 1 to 2 teaspoons a day, and not only will it take the parasitic activity out of you, it will give your minerals the ability to hold that water. And then as you speak, your thoughts and your words are actually structuring the water in your body, which we attract. I know that you guys believe that. So, I mean, take a look at this. We started from nothing in 2020, and we've got 30 million people around the world. From a business perspective, we've got a $10 million cover revenue that's moving to 50 million, on track for 50 million next year in our 4th year. And this is what really finding our beliefs are. And none of the founders in our team actually even take a salary, and we don't take money. We're out there. We're traveling around the world right now on a world tour. We're in Miami, and we're out there to help people help themselves and find a new way with this crumbling system around us. It's a worldwide movement. We're going to be we're on track to have 250 million people by next year doing these movements and helping themselves self-heal and perform.
Well, thank you for the unbelievable work that you're doing. Before we land the plane, I wanted to ask you, how do we get rid of an infection in our mouth, Garry?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways. If you have an ionizer like Kangen or Alkaviva, you can drink the acidic water. That's a level 2 acidic water. That works really well. The other way you can do it is you can use coconut oil, and you can pull it, swish it in your mouth for 20 minutes. And a third way that you can do it is you can use high-grade Manuka honey. It's about $80 US for a bottle, a UMF 20. And those 3 things are the things that I use to pull infections out of my mouth when I had it, including one that 4 rounds of antibiotics couldn't take. Using that formula, within 3 days, all the infection had gone. And I've done that multiple times.
I love it. This was a very enlightening conversation. Before we hop off, what are you personally most excited about right now, and how can Dave and I's community maybe support or get involved and follow along?
We're excited about the fact that people are finally taking charge of their own health, and we have a simple, free set of movements that the 15-minute stress reset that we have reduces 75 to 90% of the biological stress in your body, and it does it in 15 minutes. It can be done by anybody at any age, from 5 years old to 105 years old. And we're excited that when people reduce stress, because stress narrows the focus. When you take the stress out, you get more serotonin, oxytocin, and you see more opportunities. So we're excited that people can actually manage their stress and their health in as little as 15 minutes. And that's why this worldwide movement is going. So I'd love you to try it. I'd love you to say, just give it a shot, try it out, and share it with your audience.
Dave, does he have the desire that he must be what he can be, or what?
Yeah, I know that. Gary gets the simple distinction, that we are at ease, what are we doing to put ourselves at dis-ease? And it takes Sherpas and gurus like Garry to show us some simple methodologies in order to effectuate staying at our normal homeostasis, which is
Yeah.
ease. And that dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins are released when we are at ease. And it's the cortisol that's killing. And I love sitting's the new smoking, but stress is the old smoking. What are you doing to put stress? I love people, Garry, that they put so much stress on themselves to diet or to exercise, and it needs to be something that's done. Movement is something of ease. Nutrition is something of ease. Sleep is something of ease. Hydration, something of ease. And if we shift this paradigm of elevating our awareness to what's putting us at dis-ease, then we'll be able to utilize, like you said, the omniscient, all-powerful source that we're at part of an infinite loop or an infinite system of. So I love what you're doing. I'm going to do even more research, give it even more try, share it with the millions in my community as well. We'll have you on other shows. Craig and I are blessed to have many shows to get the word out on how to be happy and abundant in our existence, our human experience. But thank you very much for joining. Come and see me in New York, everyone. I'll be there on Monday with Craig Siegel keynoting Ad Week. We got, Victor Cruz, Ja Rule, Gail King, and Craig Siegel at the VIP dinner. Come and see us right in Times Square. We will be there all day. And just email me if you want to come, david@dmeltzer.com. Thanks, Craigie Poo.
Appreciate you both. Love what you're doing out there, helping people build consciousness and awareness. Success, simple thing is when my body's in ease and I'm out of stress and I'm hydrated, all the options for success are there. And that's the difference between the Olympic athletes, the pro athletes, and the amateurs. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Thank you, Garry. We'll connect offline. Love you both. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you for the unbelievable consciousness and connection today.
Take
Thank
care.
you, brother. Bye.
Bye, guys. Dave, will see you in a
See
couple days.
you in a couple days.